Hello, I welcome you to this training. In this edition, I'll be taking you on responsive designs. So, when we talk about responsive design, we are actually trying to understand how the device width, how the web layout are displayed on different device sizes or device width sizes. As you can see here, the device width of this my laptop is actually different from the device width what you have on the mobile and the tablet. And most of the time, let me just show you something here. Just right click on your browser and go to inspect. So when you get there, you can simply come down here and look for whichever device that you want to test this with. So let me use Samsung Galaxy A51 and to A50 A71. So this is how it will look. And if you can, if you look closely here, you see that this is compacted, and in somehow these two parts are not too visible, so it becomes a struggle for the user to be able to read the content of this web page. So the user experience is poor because the user will struggle to read the contents here. So how do we make this bold and make it better for the persons that are making use of mobile devices? If you also look at this, let's look for iPad. Let's look on the iPad mini. So if you look at this, is better to see or to view. So the device width has a lot to do with when it comes to um, the display of any web layout. Okay, so because of that, we have what we call responsive designs. And let me just open it up on either W3 School and Mozilla, or rather, let's also have the Free Code Camp and Mozilla Developers Network. So we'll be looking at the three of them. So responsive web design is about creating web pages that look good on all devices so that your website can look good on all devices. As you can see here, you will see this web page here is the same thing here. But you look at the menu along here, you will see that the menu here is quite different from the menu here. Even though they are the same website, the way they display on different device widths are different, and that is because of what we call responsive design. If you come down to the Free Code Camp, it says responsive. Um, in this responsive design certification, you will learn the languages that developers use to build web pages, HTML for content and CSS for design. You will build a cat photo. So this is they are more of taking you on the practical aspect of it. And if you come down to Mozilla Developers Network, it says that a responsive design, uh, that is RWD, responsive web design, is a web design approach to make web pages render well on all screen sizes and resolution while ensuring good usability. So it is more of the user experience. We are actually looking at how to better the user's experience while making use of our web pages. So let us look at this, how we will go about this now. All right, so I will want to have two different concepts on this now. So I will have to design, uh, let me just make this a full width. If you look at this, our CSS is apps.css and it's found on the layouts folder. So let's go to the layouts folder and we look for apps.css. So now let me take it that this, all these ones I've done here is going to be rendered throughout the page. Now for other ones, I can come down here and one of the methods that I can use here is what we call the at media query. So I can say at media screen, then I am going to come down media screen. I can come down here and say that I want the maximum width to be like, let me select from 540 pixels, or rather let's say let's come down to W3 School and make a reference there. I will set at media query at media query. All right, let me just copy this. Um, Copy this. Um, Let me, so I can set at media query like 340 pixels, and I can remove these ones. I don't need them for now. I don't need this for now. So I am certain that I want the maximum width that we display this particular code that I will write below to be from 0 pixel to 340 pixels. So that the maximum width is going to be 340 pixels. So I am going to do this. Now, what I want to do here is I want to display the header as same, but I want to display these parts differently so that the navigation will be at the top and then the article will be below it so that it will be bold to view. So when you come down to here, you will see how the nav is, where the nav is located. So what I will do here is I'm going to do what? I'm going to copy this nav here. Copy. And I'm going to bring it inside of here. And I am going to do something here. I'm going to remove all these. I'm going to remove the float left. I'm going to remove all this. And I am going to set the width now to 100% of the device. Let me let me just start from minimum width so that you will see what I'm doing actually. So if you look at this, you will now see that this part has been pushed down. But let me resize the screen and you will see that when I resize the screen, that nothing happened. because I said minimum width. When I set this as maximum width, let me just make this like 600 pixels, for example. Okay, so now if I am trying to, you can see that this one takes different design, while this, once it comes down to 600 pixel, it reduces to this. Let me reduce it more to 500 pixels. And if you come down here and resize it again, you see that there are differences. So what I will now do is, since I've set this like this, I want to also set the menu items like these menu items now. So, and the menu items are the nav and the UL. So I'm going to copy this, bring it down here as well, and I'm going to remove okay, I'm going to add something there. I'm going to say display, and I'm going to set the display to flex. I'm going to set the display to flex, and you can see that the display is flexed now. And what next is the height. I'm going to set the height to maybe 20 pixels. And the reason why I have this height now, let me remove this height entirely. But when we look at this part, you see that the nav have a height of 300 pixels. And if I do something here, if I try to remove this, it will affect all other designs. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this height is not displaying on the screen of the mobile devices. So what I will do is I should wrap this in media query. So I will do this now. Sorry, I will wrap it with media query. Let me just copy this media query here. So I'm going to copy this media query, and I'll come to this nav area, and I'll try to wrap it within the media query. And I will wrap it within the media query. Rather, let me just do this the right way, and then copy down this, take it, cut it off, and paste it here. All right. Then what next is I am going to change this from 500. The maximum width is going to be like 1200 pixels now, so that when I try to resize this, it doesn't affect it. But the nav is still having the height of 300 pixels. So what I will do here is I am supposed to set the height for this one as something like 80 pixels for this. Okay, so I'm seeing some certain things here. Let me try and remove this first. Let's see what will happen. Okay, so you can see that this is the height that has been affecting it. So I was supposed to set this one as the minimum width that should assess that height. Oh. So the minimum width that should access that height. So that is it. And this color should come in also on the mobile. So let's copy it too and bring it on the mobile. And bring it on the mobile as well. So that, all right. So if you look at this now, you now see that the arrangement is different. So once this gets to 1200, it begins to change. So let me change this one to like from tablets, like that's around 900 pixels or around 700 pixels here. So let me set this to around 900 pixels so that it works only on tablets. All right, then when it comes to the width, that's the article. So we work on the article now, and then the article, we are going to also copy this article here, copy it, and bring it down here as well, and paste this, and remove the float and the width, and set the width to be 100%. Okay, and think one more thing. Um, one more thing is so let's set this body here. Let's set the body. Let's see what we have on the body here. Sans serif. Copy that. Come down to the body here. Do the same thing. You can also change the font entirely, and then set the margin uh, to 0 pixels. Set the padding as well to 0 pixels. So that's it. So if you look at this now, you will see that when it comes to the mobile, it has a different design. But when it comes to when you are changing this, you can see as we are changing this, it escapes from 500 pixels. So what is the difference between um, maximum width and minimum width? The maximum width indicates how many the maximum amount of width that can access that, but the minimum width indicates the minimum amount of width size that can access it. Let me just look at how these people on the the Mozilla Developers Network, what they said about maximum width. So um, if you look at this and look at this, you see that the way they display it is quite different. So I would like you to go through this place and read more on device width. Read more on device width. It will help you to be able to understand this responsive design. And if you can still look at this, I want it to maintain this mobile design until it escapes from this. So what I will do is, since I have this set at 900 pixels, let me set it to 700, and let me set this one to the minimum width of, let's say, 690. Okay, 690. So that when we are dragging it, it maintains, you can see once it escapes from this, it changes, and this is what we call responsive designs. There are other ways to make your work responsive, which I will be showing you in the next video, because this video has already been getting longer than I planned it. So I'll take my leave at this juncture. I'll be expecting to see your comments and your questions on the comment section. So take care.